Drea's so sweet too. Like, she was so polite. Even I'm gonna just tell a story out of turn here, but it reflects on Drea well and me poorly. As I said, that Rosie Barton has a farrier, and I was going to say that her apology should come out of her muzzle. but Drea, she was very concerned that maybe she had tweeted the word jerk in reference to the people who were saying mean things about her, but then she realized that she sent it in a text message to somebody else. She was like, Sheila, oh my goodness, I might have called somebody a jerk on the internet. I'm like, that's your 4-letter word? Jerk? I'm yelling at everybody. I'm furious. I'm sending off furious emails. I'm literally on camera calling these people buffoons. And she's like, I may have called somebody a jerk. Is that okay? I'm like,
you're all right,
entitled to call everybody a jerk right now. You're fine.
Yeah. Yes. Warren. It was warranted, but so cute that she was like concerned.
She's like, I might have called somebody a jerk on the internet. Sheila, is that okay? Because I'm the editor in chief, right? So she's like worried about her tone. She's worried she's gonna get in trouble. And I'm like, you seen me today? Have you met me today? I'm pretty mad. Anyway,
she's adorable.
She's so sweet.
She is adorable. Like she really deserves all the praise in this moment. She really, really does. She's a national treasure. Drea Humphrey is a national treasure. Everybody you will agree with me. Our viewers will agree with me that Drea Humphrey deserves all the praise in this because she was so very brave. And that, like, it took an immense amount of courage to get up in front of that hostile room and ask a question that she already knew none of those people would support her asking. It took a lot of courage to do that, and all of the praise to Drea Humphrey forever for that.
Under heckling and anger, and knowing that Jagmeet Singh is not going to talk to her. Like, we know that he's a coward. He doesn't like questions from Rebel News. He doesn't like the Rebel News lady journalist, as we'll come to see. But there's also something very viscerally repulsive about him speaking down to Mr. I'm all about hate has no home here, using his position of power to talk down to an Indigenous Black female journalist.
Like the only one in that room. Yeah. Only one in that room. Yeah.
And normally I don't care about those sorts of things, but Jagmeet Singh tells me he does. So I thought I would take the time to point it out. And that's also an important point. Drea is Indigenous too. And so this is something where she wants the truth, right? Now, it didn't stop with Drea's question. I'm going to show you about, it's about 5-6 minutes. Bear with us. Kat, Canada, who is a Rebel News journalist who is on Vancouver Island, found Jagmeet Singh, and she was like, solidarity. I'm going to ask Drea's question, and he's going to have a tough time running away because he's in a public park. And just as we're watching this, pay attention to two things. The stupid look on Jagmeet Singh's face, and Vancouver Island, which is a bit of a lefty petri dish. Look how few people are there. Like, it looks like a senior citizen's birthday party. It does. Okay, let's roll this, and then we're going to bring Kat on, and she can tell us why she did what she did. So, go ahead.
Human rights, and humans are our national resources.
That's our strength.
Yes. So if I can get it, can I do that selfie?
Okay, yeah.
Iris, you gotta wait a second. Okay.
No, Iris can be in here too.
Okay.
You want to be in here, Iris?
Even better.
There you go.
Love it.
Thanks so much.
Iris is our amazing volunteer.
I know Iris. Iris,
and comment, come here quick. This is
Comment.
That's awesome. Comment's gonna make the news. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye now. Okay, I'll take it.
Mr. Singh, just a quick question. How come you refused to answer a question from my colleague during the leadership debates? Why did you not address the rising hate against Christians in Canada? There's 19 million Christians, and you absolutely refuse to answer their question. Why did you refuse to answer a question from our independent media outlet during the debates, Mr. Singh? Will you address the rising hate against Christians in Canada? Why is that so hard for you to do? There's 19 million Christians in Canada. Why are you refusing to condemn the hate and the burning of the churches in Canada?
Ma'am, this part is not open to media. So if you have media questions, can you send it to our email address?
I stood in line to ask a question, and I was told that I can't answer a question. Independent press is a right in Canada, and I will stand here and I will answer a question. He refused to answer, so I'm trying to get a question in.
We're not answering questions right now. This is not open to media.
Mr. Singh, why did you refuse to answer a question from an independent reporter at the leadership debates? Why are you refusing to condemn the hate against Christians in Canada? They're half of the population in this country. Are you a Christophobe, Mr. Singh? Do you condemn the Christophobia that's happening on the streets of Canada? Why is that so hard for you to do? Just a simple condemnation of the church burnings, Mr. Singh. How do you claim to represent all of Canadians if you absolutely refuse to acknowledge the 19 million Christians and their concerns in this country? Just one word of condemnation against the Christophobia in this country.
Just move away, please.
I'm going to stand right here.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you mind moving out of the way?
I would prefer you say.
Well, I would prefer that I would ask a question.
We've already let you know that we're not going to take questions from audience right now, so we can take a walk if you like.
Well, I'm going to stand right here. It's a free sidewalk. Thanks.
Zoom.
Oh, you know, let's turn this way. We'll get the light. Yeah. There it is.
Don't touch me.
I didn't touch you. The time, are we gonna shut down the time? There it is. Nice. Awesome. So this is just here. Bye. Hey. Yeah. Come on now. How you doing? Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yep. Thanks.
Oh yeah, we forget it. Yeah. We should get this. Awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks.
Yeah.
Just one condemnation of the church burnings, Mr. Singh. Why wouldn't you answer a question at the leadership debates about the church burnings and the rising hate against Christians in Canada? Why is that so hard for you to do? You're obviously willing to condemn Islamophobia. Why wouldn't you condemn Christophobia, Mr. Singh? It's really easy to do. Don't touch me. Excuse me. Don't touch me. Mr. Singh, just one condemnation of the church burnings. Just one condemnation of the church burnings, Mr. Singh. Just one. Can you do that, please? For the 19 million Christians in Canada?
It's crazy.
Do you have
Unreal.
one single word about the church burnings? Do you condone the church burnings in Canada? Do the church burnings make you happy in Canada? If you can speak against anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, why can't you say one word against the Christophobia happening in this country? Just one.
Yep.
It's really easy to do. I
You
condemn
won't?
the Christophobia and I condemn the hate against Christians in this country. Just that. Just one condemnation, Mr. Singh. Just one comment about the rising hate against Christians.
Watch your step. Oh yeah, this is.
Is this really how you want to come off for the millions of Canadians that have concerns about the rising hate and violence against Christians in this country?
Okay, we're going to have to stop you here because this is where
This is public property.
No, this is our secure zone for the motorcade, okay?
Okay, well, I'm right here. I'm not even on the sidewalk. I'm on the grass.
What
this is where we
motorcade?
have a secure zone, which we're allowed to keep for his protection
Okay,
to get him
I'm
onto
on
this, okay?
the
No,
grass.
that's good.
I'm
There,
far
you're perfect
away.
there. There, you're perfect.
Thank you.
That's all I ask. Thank you.
Do you see that?
Do you know who that chubby video cameraman is right there?
I don't know any of
No?
those. Can't remember.
You look pretty fit.
You look pretty fit. Oh.
What if governments are trying to reinvent the wheel when the greatest teacher of all times has already laid out the perfect blueprint for a constitution for a kingdom of love, faith, and freedom? Introducing the Kingdom of Heaven Freedom Passport. This special edition Freedom Passport captures the foundational truths of love, ethics, and freedom for all. It's a powerful reminder of Jesus' call to love one another and to be part of something bigger that you can carry with you every day. Join the movement, share the truth, and spread the love with your family and friends. Get your Kingdom of Heaven Freedom Passport at freedompassport.ca. And right now, all orders in North America come with free shipping and a free downloadable song with every purchase.
Oh, God. We've got
Well-
Kat with us, but yeah, good to point out that there's other media there. And then he's like, this isn't open to media. It's a park.
Dude, who are all the people with cameras then and lighting and fancy setups? Like who are those guys then? If no media, we're not taking any questions. While he fields questions from people that are just gathered around it. Sure, guys. Mhm.
Let's bring in Kat.
Here
Hi,
she
Kat.
is.
Here's the woman
Hi,
of the
Sheila.
hour. Hi,
Hi,
Kat. Thanks for doing that. I didn't even know you were. Then you messaged me and you're like, I just got Jagmeet Singh. So tell us how it all
How
went
did
down.
that happen? Yeah.
I was literally at home watching CPAC, and I saw that there was a live stream happening with Singh. And when they panned out, I saw where it was. It was literally 3 minutes from my place. And so I didn't even message anyone. I just grabbed my phone and my backup charger and I booted down there to see if I can approach him and engage with him, because I knew that it would likely be possible because it's such an open space. And I've been at a presser there before for Polyev, so I knew the layout of the land. There's a playground there. My kids go to play there. So I knew that I would be able to approach him from somewhere, because there's no way that they were going to keep me completely out of the area because it was open. So I booted it down there and I waited. I stood in line. They kicked me out of the line because they're like, who are you? And I said, Rebel News. They're like, we don't take questions from Rebel News because you guys are misinformation and disinformation. I pressed her on what that disinformation is. Obviously, she had nothing to say except repeat the lines, just like a standard programmed NPC. And so I just waited until the presser was over and decided to approach him when he walked away from the very, very, very small crowd of supporters that was there for his photo op against the Nanaimo background, and it tried to engage with him for the sake of Canadians and for my colleague Drea, for everyone at Rebel, for everyone in Canada watching, the hypocrisy, the sanctimony about condemning hate only when it's politically advantageous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, I was just going to say, it's wild to see someone unable to say, yeah, don't burn churches. Like, that's literally what you were asking him to say. And that was, I guess, just a bridge too far for him. It's just bizarre. And he comes off looking like an absolute goofball.
Well, I knew he wasn't going to answer any questions because they've already made that pretty clear. I was just hoping to exactly do what I did, which is make him look so just snobbish and completely refused I literally had to Google how many Christians in Canada before I even tried to
Yeah.
engage with him, just to kind of get a gauge on how many people he's literally ignoring. And it turns out that it's nearly half the country in Canada
Mhm.
that he's absolutely spitting in the face off by saying, I won't even look at you. I won't even say one word begrudgingly to you to address the concerns that you have about your places of worship being burned down. I think we're at like what, 150 plus now or something like that? Church
200, yeah.
burnings in Canada?
200.
200,
Yeah.
based
Yep.
on a hoax, based on disproven information. And he wasn't willing to condemn that. And I was just hoping to make him look exactly as he looked in that video, because I knew he wasn't going to talk to me.
Well, you did a good job. I mean, God bless your tenacious nature, Kat. You didn't ask once and sort of back off. You had to fight through this sort of crew of pink hairs and handlers here that are surrounding him. I mean, look at that big guy surrounded by women to protect him. Sends women to stave you off, to keep you from answering or asking these inconvenient questions. How many people were at that event, Kat, if you had to guess?
So there was a gaggle of media. There's lots of cameras. So maybe 3 or 4 dozen people watching him give his presser. There was a tight group of very woke looking crowd people right behind him that kind of hung back after the fact to tell him that they're terrified of conservatives getting in because they them partner is worried that they're going to be outlawed in Canada, which is obviously absolutely ridiculous. And maybe 1 or 2 other supporters stopping for a selfie, basically, and that was it. There was more media than supporters. There was his volunteers standing behind him, making him look popular. I don't know if they're paid. I have no idea. So no, not a very big crowd at all for him in terms of support. Lots of media and some props behind him standing to make him look good, I guess.
Yeah,
That is
that's what
wild.
happens when the union gives you the morning off with pay, but you got to go stand behind Jagmeet Singh.
Hey, Kat, can I ask you a question? One of the most interesting and compelling things about you is that your family escaped a communist country to come to Canada. And I'm curious, what similarities, if any, do you see between the country that you escaped to come to Canada from and current day Canada?
Good question.
Yeah. Yeah, so yes, my family fled the former Soviet Union. I was 11 years old when we came to this amazing country, when it was still beautiful and free and great. And it all kind of started unraveling for me, especially during the lockdowns under COVID, when I saw very similar tactics used by the government, for example, to censor people, to impose unlawful mandates on people, losing medical freedom, losing freedom of speech, losing freedom of mobility just within your own country. If you didn't have any vaccination papers, you couldn't travel. They demonized however many millions of us there were that were refusing to comply. They were pitting us against each other. That's a pretty common tactic, divide and conquer. And ever since then, it's just been progressively increasing with the censorship bills, demonizing independent media, refusing attendance to independent media like Rebel News into press conferences, and only pre-approved questions are basically a go for the socialists, champagne socialists like Singh and back when Trudeau was still in power, bloated government. There's just so many similarities. And I know it's not just me, it's a lot of people from the Eastern Bloc who escaped the communist region and the Soviet era who are sounding the alarm about all of this that's happening, because the signs are very clear that if we continue down this path, it'll lead to utter tyranny where no freedom of the press exists, no freedom of speech exists. And that's what communism is. So I know we may not be called a communist country, and the Liberal Party claims to be liberal, but I believe that it was a very based president from the 70s that said, if fascism, or I guess you could even say communism, ever comes to North America, it will be under the guise of liberalism. So it's many, many different signs, and they're quite obvious to me and to people who fled the region that I did. And that's why we're just trying to sound the alarm. and being, getting so much trouble and hate for our troubles for it, being called tinfoil hatters and nut jobs and all this. Like, I'm just trying to preserve the freedoms in this country for my children.
That was an incredible answer, Kat. Just incredible. Yeah, beautifully done. Beautifully done. Well, Canada, you just heard it from somebody who experienced it in her earlier life. We are sliding down the slippery slope of authoritarianism. Kat just gave you more than a handful of reasons or examples that she has identified as more than problematic. And if this doesn't raise the red flags, I'm not sure what will. Kat, what a gorgeous answer. Thanks so much.
Kat, thanks so much for your hard work. Thanks for having the work ethic that the mainstream media doesn't have, to see something breaking in your neighborhood on TV, put your shoes on and go there and get the story. It's funny because that was their big criticism, was like, how did Rebel News get all those questions during the debate? I literally looked for the X on the floor and I was like, I bet that's where they're going to put the microphone for the questions. And then I just sat down beside it. It's just a matter of working smarter and sometimes working harder. So I appreciate you for that. Thanks. And I can't wait to see what you do next.
Yeah, me neither. Sheila. Great job, Kat.
Thanks, job. Ladies. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Do you agree with me? It is time to make Canada great again. And that is why we at Rebel News have teamed up with MCGA hats to introduce, the fashion sensation of 2025. Oh, and by the way, these beautiful hats, they are made in Canada. We don't rely on cheap imports coming over from China. So what are you waiting for, folks? Show your pride. This is the perfect thing for a patriot to wear, or maybe there's a patriot in your life that you would like to gift such a hat. Please go to mcgahats.ca. That's mcgahats.ca. Don't be shy about it. Wear this cap. Let everybody know you want to make Canada great again.